obi wo ho, uni obi wo ho.
Good people, Benjamin and Ketia here. Friday night only means one thing: sports panorama. Love it when the beat drops like that. My bell is here. Usual, this is a place where we break down the issues. Now, as I was coming here, I mean, the most present thing on my mind was Andrea Yu. He's been at the Faculty of Psychology at the University of Ghana, a faculty I know very well. He's been giving a lecture, you know, a leadership lecture, talking about how to stay focused, how he deals with the noise, how he deals with the fame. You can check out all those highlights at Citi Sports GH. That's our X or Twitter handle. We have like as many bits and cuts as you can get over there on Andrea Yu's lecture. Good stuff from Capito. Shout outs to B.O.B. and the guys making it happen. For our Great Olympics, they are going through some bit of transition. Remember, Accra Great Olympics have been relegated. They have had their management I mean, the management board really dissolved as things stand now. So, yeah, Oli Pioto. Oh, Charlie, thank you. That's the latest.
Oli National Swimming Championship.
Thank you very much, my brother. See, but you know, this is why Oli Twisco. Yeah. This is why Olympics is the greatest football institution outside of Real Madrid.
Absolutely.
You know why?
Too much drama.
Because they are the only team whose name you can add everything to, and it will still be fine.
Absolutely.
Oli Abeku, Oli
Promasi,
Oli Milito,
Oli Milito,
Oli Kuta, Oli Sisi, Oli Kuta, Oli Wale Benofi, Oli Letampao. See, you can go on and on. We'll be getting into the Olympics issues. What exactly do they want to do? We're talking about the Euros. Is it finally going home? Is it finally going home? How nervous are the British people? How confident are the Spaniards? We'll get into that. And then, of course, this weekend, it's one thing and one thing only. The Channel 1 TV National Swimming Championships. Oh boy. Don't say I didn't tell you. Grooming the next generation of Ghanaian swimmers. I can just off the top of my head just tell you who to look out for. Michael Crabman. Charlie,
Oh,
see,
Charlie.
see that guy, Michael Crabman, he thinks he'd be Michael Phelps. Like, have you seen it when he's behind the mic?
Yeah. You see, I saw him for the first time this week, and I love his confidence.
No, see,
Charlie, the guy,
he's next up. I think he's next up. Big time guy. Like,
but Ben, did you forget something?
No, I can't.
I think the pool has gotten this bit of confidence to give to the athletes, and it's wild because when you hear them talk, they talk bold.
Listen, you know these athletes, these swimmers we have, their confidence is off the charts.
Yeah,
like I remember last year when we couldn't fulfill the dream of doing it at the Transports and Program because that pool is bigger. It's a standard size pool. They were disappointed because they were looking forward to it, and I'm so this week, right?
Well, it was dry during the African Games, though.
Thank you very much. That is a story for another day. We'll get into it. You see, we'll get into it. But when I went to Baltimore this week, I was like, I entered the aquatic center. I passed by the warm-up pool, and then I made it to the main pool itself, and I was like, whoa,
smooth.
This is serious stuff.
Smooth.
And I was asking Joel, the camera technician who was with me, like, Charlie, bro, no, it's serious stuff. The National Swim Championship is brought to you by Channel 1 TV. We'll talk more about it on the show, but let me let the rabbi, as usual, commit the place. He needs to purify the place. The only people are zip out. And I always say that these days, before I let the rabbi pray, I say that it hurts me because rabbi, he has to stay on one side of the religion barrier, but this rabbi nearly took on a turban and a jalabia. A turban and a jalabia rooted in the beliefs of an AI sheikh.
It's all toys.
You have been forgiven.
No.
Those sins have been washed away.
Jay-Z is coming. Jay-Z.
You mean there's still hope?
Can't worry.
No more. You need to unveil one thing that will be pivotal, right, to the start of the next Premier League season is that Coach Nimley will be forced to unveil his new team.
True.
Because the one condition you give is it looks like it won't happen. It looks like Mason Greenwood is on his way to Nathan Kwau's Olympic Marseille. So you will have to find a way.
Well, the Olympic Marseille president is talking tough though.
Well,
but the Marseille mayor, have you heard the Marseille mayor?
Yeah. They should not sign.
Don't come close.
Commit all those things into the Lord's hands. Including Greenwood. Commit him into the Lord's hands.
To be no call it down, you was about. Minnesota, Nima, Wakobele, Ache, Umanche, Ba. Jehovah Zebaut. Oh, Benele, catch your program, no. Like a Ghana Mamufe was so
Mamufe.
Abu Fambi at we be shit. Now Babu pay more than Chetui. You all get Jomo. How would Nili get Jemo? Bellamo da, no one you offend will be yummy. Bellamo da, no one you offend will be yummy. Bonafi. Many bo program to here. Me na me le program here. Amana le fida. Okay, it's Twisco time.
Go.
It's Twisco time. Nene bine kashinano. Ka oye gbeken ko ye shia jo. Onupa jibo jo.
Twisco time.
If you know yo, okay, Yehovah Zebaoth gba me. It is Twisco time.
Thank you.
Chocolate drink hey naka ba.
Sweet.
Ka ole chocolate nutu money tu. The asako o heko. Hanon bo nupa nyeme kecheme.
Bulea ba.
Nyekweme kechekweme. Wake mo fia mo hanu eko. Na he agbeke bi na menu na me susuma ateta. Na me nile ayashon feda keda.
Kada.
Okay, Spain be ele wala ko jowo eche. Kashegbe ye all robbery. Shimi keboyo. Lami yama. Kakwe oh hey. Shimi jonu mole. Spain woke up omo Yesu gba mi. Amen.
Woo. Charlie. Yama, after this prayer, you better behave. Better behave yourself.
Eba was simple Sunday. Lami Yama.
Show proudly brought to us by Winner Big. And Winner Big is the other one. Proud sponsors of the show. Charlie, cash time. When it's a Friday. Friday is when my guy says you don't give advice on Fridays. Friday, you're too full Friday. Please.
It's show time.
Who said that?
Oh, don't mind about who said that. Friday night, you're too beautiful. And Friday, boys need cash, you know?
Yeah, man.
Oh, some boys, Enumuso. The words of the legendary Code Miggy.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Shout out to Code Miggy.
You have described it aptly.
What's up, boys? Enumuso.
All you need is 5 Ghana cedis.
Thank you.
Get yourself a ticket. The 5 Ghana cedis, you can collect 500 daily, and you can win the chance to be in a draw to also collect 1,000 Ghana at the end of the week. I'll announce the winners here today.
Oh.
So star 920 star 66 hash. That's all. Star 920 star 66 hash.
Thank you.
Just follow the prompt. Purchase your desired ticket. You can buy as many tickets as you want. Visit www.winnerbig.com. Purchase your tickets. They say Winner Big, cash the flow, sir. Boys, girls, Charlie. Pick up some tickets, make some money. Twisco there, you know already.
Yeah, no more. It's Twisco time.
We started with the sachets. We have graduated to the cans.
No more now, po.
The can packaging is just, oh my goodness.
Vitamins A, B, C, D.
Oh my. And the fourth.
Charlie.
No, Jenny won't go no keke.
Protein and energy.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Sure.
Let's talk about Accra Great Olympics later.
You know 2 days ago when the heat was on the morning show.
Yeah.
It was all powered by Twisco. Especially my side.
Thank you.
You mean the Nkrumah generated heat?
Just one mug and I was all over. Bro.
Charlie.
Truth must be spoken to power.
2 days ago,
Yeah.
Obribia came to me and said, Daddy, the Twisco is almost finished. Then I call Ikuya. I have told you that thing will have to be in excess. I have told you.
You mean make sure we don't run out?
Never.
Nah,
Please
that's hard.
don't allow my large daughter to ever come to me and say, Daddy, the Twisco is almost done.
Princess Obribia
I don't
must
want
drink
that.
Let
Please.
it not happen
It
again.
shouldn't happen again.
Thank you very much, my brother. And Abeku, you have been interacting with Olympics interim hierarchy.
Oli machine. Oli Gbogbo.
Oli Citi
Koso. Oli Gonzo.
Oli Kuta.
Oli it will be good for me.
Only relegation.
Oli E-Levy. Oli pink sheet. We can go on and on.
You know, on the last day of last, the chatter on social was when the results.
About, you know what was
When
funny
the
for me?
results were
You see,
coming
I think Olympics should have really held RTU's neck. And they should have been dragging RTU by now.
You should.
They should have insisted on seeing the same players that turned up.
But only got a walkover that day.
Oh.
Yeah, but the results elsewhere.
You know, so you know the results kept changing.
They should have contested that Dreams FC RTU game.
You know the results kept changing. I mean, I was following.
I don't know if you saw the tweet when the Heart of Lions Breakum Chelsea was going on. I didn't know for Suja Park. And then the only Twitter handle was like, Ajue.
Sorry. Of all the things,
Oh my
all the
goodness.
things that were said on social media that day, the one that killed me was, as when the final results, like when the results kind of settled, and the games were petering out.
Yeah.
So somebody tweeted that. Somebody said, "Bro, Ejumane Dioli." I'm like, hey.
We shall not explain.
Hey.
We shall not explain. The Ghana Premier League, though, I mean, Olympics have been, they've been promising and unstable. I can say that at least in the last 4 years. And we here at City, I mean, we are too similar with the fabric of Olympics. We know them really well. They are our people here. They've not had the best of seasons, especially in the last 2 campaigns. And this has resulted in relegation. Last season, they flirted with it. It didn't happen. This season, it just was not going to happen for them.
No, here it has been. This has been the attitude of the traditional clubs. You take my Dwarfs for example.
When you say traditional, so you mean the Dwarfs and Olympics,
I mean
a
Dwarfs,
Kotoko, a
Olympic,
Hearts.
Kotoko, a Hearts. But for Kotoko and Hearts is an exemplary, situational case if you want it. But for the Olympics, the Dwarfs, the Hazakas, if you want, the Elmina Sharks. No, Elmina Sharks to some extent.
They are even new school.
Yeah, new school. So say Venomous Vipers, that group. But for Aquatanos, it's their nature. The fans believe that they own the club. So in owning the club, they have a feel that, look, club and their supporters in a club, and they get to find a way to sit in the minds of the players. And it really affects the clubs.
How so?
Look, they are the guys that are providing the Gary the Mo one bag and Gary for the players in their clubhouses, and yeah, and that's the
No, I mean, if you know how Kotoko even functions,
these are the facts.
You realize that players play a big part in the fans play a big part in the welfare of players outside their official salaries and their monies.
Absolutely. No, I'm not saying it's bad, but how it's managed. Yeah, because the players gets so deep into the players that when they are not playing, they begin to complain to the fans, and the fans keep agitating, and they come to the managers of the club, people like operation managers of the club, people like CEOs of the club, then to complain that play and to surprise you that the player might be having an injury with him, and he's not even letting the medics know that there's an injury, and he plays like 60 minutes and he's tired, 45 minutes and you just see him walking about in the game.
Meanwhile, he's there complaining to fans who are then agitating at the club's board or at the club's hierarchy that things are not going well.
Absolutely.
This is interesting.
Because we have fans representation at the board level where they need to communicate what the fans and their feel is and what have you. Olympics is on the same trend. And for Accra Great Olympics, what they've not done right is they began attracting good players because they always seem to, stay in the top 3 at a certain point in time of the league.
That's what I'm saying. In the last 5 years, they got their corporate structure really sorted out. They got some good sponsors in. They got Anor Walker in. I think he did a good job, like I was saying, with recruitment. He got some good players in. Just wrap it up for us. Where did it go wrong for them this particular season, and how should they handle their business now that they've been relegated?
2 questions. I feel it's a wrong move for them to dissolve the old board and have a new one. What's their target? To get a new coach? That's not enough. To get a new coach is not enough.
Is that what Kujo Fianu said?
That's what.
That's what he said.
He says their immediate target is to find.
Is to find a new.
I mean, he can be right in a way, because we always sit here and say that you do not start recruiting a new team when you do not know who your coach is going to be.
My Dwarfs brought in Nana Pra. It didn't work. They brought in James Kukudazi. It didn't work. Now they have Ellis, who they feel is the man to man the affairs. He tried, he was unable to make the Premiership. Look, Division 1 is a deadly zone. And it's why I feel that they should have kept the old management or board, what have you, and then gotten probably a new coach, but to change the board, to have a new coach, that's going to be problematic. It's going to be problematic. Well,
you mean they don't understand what they are walking into? As in, like the new group of people coming will not know what they are walking into.
It's been experimented at Dwarfs. It did not work. The experimentation has happened at Dwarfs. It did not work.
But Olympics have started out by hiring Kujo Fianu as interim.
No, look, he's experienced. You give it to Kujo. But the Division 1 is a different ball game. At a point in time, my Cape Coast Mysterious Ebusiano sacked John Ansa. John Ansa is the deputy to Kujo Fianu Agaka. They felt John Ansa was taking the club down. The people who came and manned the affairs of the club brought the club
Further down.
And later, when they realized the club was going on relegation, they went to John Ansa begging him to come and to lift the club up. Look, Division 1 is a whole mafia. It's a mafia institution. That if you do not know how to ball around, you are going to be at it like it's going to face you, directly. What Olympics have to do now is they need to set their priorities right. What do they want? The new coach wouldn't. So I was trying to find out from Kucho if he's going to bring in somebody like Kobene Misa. But Kobene Misa is a political coach.
How so? Explain for us in what terms?
Because
quickly.
He loves experience. He loves to use coach. Pardon me, but these are the facts. He loves experienced players. I mean, he's a coach, is why I need to say sorry. He loves using experienced players who cannot continue when they qualify.
This is an interesting
the
twist.
records are actually there. The records are
records
there.
are
So he likes Ghana Premier League veterans.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are simply out of the game at the Premier League.
But
level.
how so? They are good enough for Division 1 but are not good enough for the league?
Division 1 is a boot for boot scene.
It's not as technical?
No. It's physical. It's
That
result
is why
oriented.
most often than not, when they qualify, they tend to go back straight
Absolutely.
to relegation.
Now, when you qualify, you need to pick the Samatex approach. When Samatex qualified, Paul Anyaba called me and said, "We want some young chaps in your setup, like Seydou Abubakar." And Seydou was young; he was banging in the goals for those. Well, there was Seydou and there was Richard Adai, but they opted for Seydou Abubakar because Richard already is old and he cannot play. With all due respect, I mean he's old. You get it, and. They came in for Seydou Abubakar. Unfortunately, Seydou got hit, but they were looking for younger chaps. And it has been Paul's dream for a long time to have a team of that sort who can spend and have very good players, is well structured to make sure. And they are winners. Just a season into the league, they are winners.
So you think that Olympics should look for an experienced management team going into Division 1? 2, an experienced coach. Just quickly, which coach would you hire if you are Olympics? What board style? I mean, you said they should adopt the Samatex style, which is I just finish off on the coach for me. Look, if you could suggest a coach that they could possibly hire,
if you can bring Ellis from Dwarfs, that will be better for them. But it's difficult because Olympics are the typical traditional club. They don't want to spend. No.
What about Kobe?
Kobe, they can't handle his ego. They can't. They won't try. There are some coaches.
Has he not been in there already?
Yeah.
Coaches
You mean Kobe Mensah?
Yeah.
Kobe Mensah was with them.
Yeah.
He had what?
They fired him, right?
Yeah, they fired him after what? 7 games. I interviewed him. I met Kobe Mensah at one of Olympics' home games, and you could tell that look, he wasn't too happy with the way the club was being run. And let me just hop on to what Abeku is saying.
When you say how the club was being run, ask him what exactly.
So we are very familiar with the way clubs are being run in this country. Player interference from the top hierarchy. It's clear.
Like what Abeku was saying.
Look,
players go and complain to fans and influential team hierarchy members.
So easy. The downfall of Olympics started when they began to let go of the high-profile coaches they used to have. So I'm talking about Daniel Anna Walker. I'm talking about Yao Prekun. These 2 coaches had good stints with Olympics.
I was surprised when Yao Prekun was also let go.
Walker for 2 seasons qualified Olympics to top 4. And it was clear.
So they were literally there were times where they were actually looking like they were going to contest for the title.
Let's not forget how Olympics came back to play the Ghana Premier League. There was a lot of drama with Kim Faisal, but they had to
expand the league.
They maneuvered their way and got into the top flight league. Now they had a bit of stability for 2 seasons. It was good under Daniel Walker, and even what he did with Olympics, got him that job at the national team level.
Yep.
When he was given the Black Galaxy job.
We gave him a lot of fans here for his work
Good.
at Olympics, and his togas also took center stage.
No one agalete Egypt ejo Morocco.
Oh, Charlie. I know.
I don't put on again. I know what with it. Quite big in the trouble or the buffet you be make you.
With the hot sauce basketball shows. Remember hot sauce from the end one mixtape?
I know the drip. Charlie, Olympics didn't keep.
Look, Ben. It's just one simple thing. It's a glaring problem that we all know, and it was just a matter of time that dissolving that board will take effect. And I wasn't too surprised because even in the just ended season, they were not faring too well. In one season, they had about 6 coaches. How are you going to gain stability? Coupled with the fact that you have the top hierarchy dictating to you what kind of players you should use.
I'm saying my draft tried, it didn't work. At the point
You
they
get a
went in
point.
for a certain coach Abu, it didn't work.
Now, in a country where before a coach is being given appointment, he comes to meet already hired or already recruited players. I mean, coaches
And already recruited
backroom
staff. Coaches here. Look, I haven't got a lot of coaching word education, but it clearly doesn't make sense for me.
No.
And that is their downfall.
I remember very well when I came from the States. I nearly got the Okwao United job.
They'll frustrate you.
This is a personal
They will
experience.
frustrate
So somebody came and saw my work at Vision at the time and said, look, your way of doing things is a bit professional. Let's go here. So I went there. I had 2 meetings with the people in charge of Okwao at the time. So he came down and said, look, on one condition,
Yeah.
I bring my backroom staff.
They won't allow you.
Look, we went back and forth, and they were big men. And I said, look,
what was their problem?
they were looking at this young man who had just come back from the States, but my delivery was so emphatic and straightforward. I said, look, if you are telling me to work with this man, he doesn't have any allegiance towards me. His allegiance is to you people.
Yeah.
So he doesn't believe in what I believe in. I want my own backroom staff. We come in the
People who share the same vision.
we assess the players equally. But you want me to this man, he has his favorite among the players.
Yeah.
So when I dare silence his favorite because I believe he's not up to the standard, influence them, then they mess up the look. We went back and I said,
It happened to David.
if there was anything I learned from Uncle Ben Kofi,
You should have your
and what I'm saying, every coach
should have your
in
own
Ghana
stuff. You should.
who went for any CAF license coaching program,
It's a
B
must.
or
You
A,
must have your
that the late Uncle Ben Kofi, together with Otiakinti, were the CAF instructors for. The very first meeting, he will tell you, as a coach, should never allow your employers to give you your backroom stuff. That is the beginning of your failure. But here in Ghana, all the teams in Ghana, all of them, none of them allow coaches to come in with their own background.
Now
stuff.
Kotoko. It's only Kotoko, I think.
Oh, many Kotoko.
Yeah.
They've given prof.
So he's been given.
Apia. I think it's because
Doctor is not prof here, doctor.
I think Doc and Kwesi Apia already have a relationship, and so that is the umbrella for what they are doing.
But even there, how can the coach be part of the management? How can the coach be part of the decision? So who checks the coach?
Yeah.
So he can sack 22, 23 players.
Those are the Olympics points documented. You just land on your points and then let me move on.
I'm just trying to say that I wasn't too surprised, but my issue is how they are going to recover. Look, Ben, have you forgotten about Wafa?
It's going to take them 3 seasons.
Getting back into the top
ask
flight.
Liberty professionals. They went just recently, like 2-3 years ago.
Yes.
Ask them what's going on.
It is
They were
difficult.
out hunting me.
Ask Hearts of Lions
Same.
when they went
It
when
took
they
them
went down.
so many years to come back, and I think that will be the fate of Great Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
Oh, that's it. That's a reality.
You
That would
see,
be look, Coach Ofiana has got so much experience. We've seen him at Ash Gold, Black Stars level. He's somebody who's got a lot of experience in Ghana
No,
football.
but you said they are not going to do it for the entire season, so he should tell you where Olympics are standing now.
And that is where the problem is. That is where the problem is. You get it? So I think it's a very, very dark situation for Great Olympics. Getting back into the top flight league, this is a team, a 2-time Premier League champion. a 2-time Premier League champion. That's what we are talking about.
If they do have money, it will accelerate the situation. Money always accelerates the situation.
Let me just pass a quick point. I don't see Olympics coming back to the Premier League anytime soon. Yes. They can go for the best of the best.
As in management,
whatever.
Coaches, players.
They don't, and they will never accept the modern way of doing things. And that is what they need to accept. There has to be a proper structure. How can you run a team like Olympics without a proper structure? Who is the bankroller of Olympics? Do you know the person?
But I know Oluboy Commodore is.
No more Oluboy Mamenye Nuko. Amenye Nuko. Menamenye. Chena tawana kefe Olympics. They don't know Oluboy Mamenye.
I mean, the likes of the former ministers, Amaka Amata, if you
Amaka
in
Amata.
the mix.
Yeah.
If such a renowned, established man puts his money into something and there's no returns, do you think he will continue to do it? Do you know the amount of money Amata Makafio had to pump into Olympics? Yep. Even then, he couldn't guarantee their qualification.
I think they actually even floated shares.
Yes.
Yep.
How attractive are the shares of Olympics? No more. Oh, I hate shares. Then when it comes to the decision making, nobody recognizes.
No Ghanaian Premier League club is attractive to its shares.
Because the supporters alone can invade the pitch during training and brush off the coach.
It happened.
And they will take over and coach the team. How do look? They've gotten what they deserve, and for me, if they don't even take it, they will go to second division. I mean, that is the way I see my thing. A team like Olympics. That's why I was so sad when Hasselhoff escaped relegation. That's the team I supported. Oh no, team didn't support.
You mean they should have gone down?
They should have gone down to learn sense.
No coach.
They should have. Hasselhoff, look,
That's going to be dangerous.
I'm telling you, it is Ghana football. But if it was in any well competitive league, they would have gotten themselves. This is a compromise league. I will say it anywhere, anytime I go. It's a compromise league. That is why teams like Hasselhoff, when they don't do the right things, the structure or the system will find a way to keep them in the Premiership.
If it is compromised, I'll leave it at the doorsteps of the clubs.
You understand?
Yeah.
That is why, for our football to get better, we should move away from ESCO members having football teams and they are interested in how well their team people. Look, if they don't autonomize this league,
They will.
these people, they can never do it.
They will.
Well, hopefully.
No.
Hopefully.
Because the moment the league is taken away from them, we don't want any 2x4 sort of thing.
They say it is going to be privately managed.
Oh.
Let's hope so. Let's talk about the Euros. 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Show proudly brought to us by Twisco and Winner Big. Oh, Charlie.
Like an international, I've taken myself a selfie of Twisco and I've tweeted it. It's on X. I say it's Twisco time. It's perfect for the kids.
Let's talk about the Euros final and how we got here. The Netherlands losing in painful fashion to England, that broke my heart. That Oli Watkins goal. Yes.
You should have seen Ubo die. It's coming home.
No.
It's coming home.
Strangely enough, I actually didn't see the second goal. I got up, went inside. When I came back, there were adverts. So I thought, it was extra time. I didn't even check my phone.
The goal was
so I sit down.
The goal was so good. It just knocked the stuff.
So I sit down behind the TV. Now I'm waiting. Extra time is not starting. I said, why is there a delay?
Go now, Badada.
then the transmission resumes. They said, food. I said, wait. What?
When did they score the goal?
When did England score?
Yeah, Oli Watkins came on.
And who even scored?
And you know what's surprising?
scored?
Oli Watkins has been doing this for Villa all season.
You see,
He's got a thing for knocking.
if those people listening and watching the program, there's one is coming home fan. You can't see him.
He did funny.
This is why on Sunday they will cry. No,
If so, no, they do. If so, no, they do. But Watkins, like, I'm just putting on record that as good as that goal was, this was like vintage Oli
course.
Watkins. Like he had been doing this for Villa all season.
Angle
Like
tight.
one touch to like move the ball,
Straight.
10, and then that was such a
was a real
quality
low-bend
finish.
For Watkins, I think that Unai Emery needs to get a lot of credit
Go and take a chair. Come and sit down. Where you want to talk? Go and take a chair. Come and sit down.
because
Shout outs to all the fans out there. It's really coming.
We're fans.
Hold on, Mr. Bar.
Are you not a Black Stars fan?
Oh, I'm a Ghana fan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
So what's the connection with England?
England? It's because of the disrespect.
Look at it.
Team has endured
Man, you don't
all
quench
these
your
years.
microphone.
No, for
So it's
real.
what?
Sometimes
You allow him to talk.
Sometimes you have to give credit where credit is due. This England coach you are talking about has been the most successful in their history.
Facts.
I mean,
In
you
their
can't,
history?
you can't dispute
by the-
yes.
Aside 1966,
the one we say about Alf Ramsey.
Absolutely.
in the last 50 years.
outside of Alf Ramsey.
Yes.
Or in recent times, let me say it that way. And you see, it's about the complete disregard for the team prior to the competition. And you see, if you had read anything about the team or followed the team a
You're
little
Oh,
bit,
be like.
Allow him to talk. Allow him.
Guys, Southgate VR.
The English media have an
you see,
agenda.
the English team going into this Euros were very deliberate in their approach. It's not a fluke when Bellingham plays the ball in the net in the extra time and going into added on, right? Then extra time Hurricanes. It's not a fluke. That's a deliberate approach. And you see, it looks like it's just all coming together, but there's some work that has gone into the team, and you have to give Southgate his flies. You see, so if I see people doing like, they've come all this way to just repeat again. I don't know.
Fair point.
I
The
support.
mistake
You see, I
from the
support.
past. See, let me just give you a brief example. The goalkeeping area, for example, he took there's a whole science to it. You know, he took an additional keeper,
Yeah.
4 keepers. That's I think Tom Heaton.
Tom Heaton.
To add up to the already 3 he called as players, so as to just add up to the motivation. Exactly. So my whole point is that there's a certain science to it now, and he's learned from the
So it's
past.
coming home.
It's home.
Thank you.
Actually,
Hey, Erade. You see, these are the kind of sound bites I like. So that when the haymaker comes,
Go play what I give him.
oh boy, Nathan, let's talk about. I mean, let's just even take up the conversation from right where it was. Gareth Southgate, and it's going to tie into that thing you're going to say about Unai Emery, giving him the flowers for what Oli Watkins has become. You also need to give Southgate the benefit for knowing that this is the time to introduce Watkins at this crucial point in the game, because as at that point, Harry Kane was not moving as much. His ball movement was not getting him in dangerous positions. Watkins comes on, and with one of his fewer touches, first touch takes away, second touch bang. Southgate has been criticized all tournament for being
Rightly so.
overly conservative. Well, right now it doesn't look like that, because they always say that results don't lie.
The reason why I would say rightly so is that as the competition wore on, he started to amend his ways. If he were a manager who believed that he was right, he wouldn't do some of the things he did in that game against.
But isn't that also not to even catch you? But I mean, are you saying that when he had realized that his ways were not good, he should have stood on his ego and continued to stick with his
not
method?
necessarily. I just feel that if a manager at this level should quickly know how to react to the things around him, it shouldn't have taken Southgate 3 games to realize that, I need Kobe Mainoo in my midfield. I need to change things. I need to effect changes quicker. I need to bring in Ivan Toney to do something different. I need to give Oli Watkins an opportunity. I need to give Cole Palmer a chance. That's the point I'm making. It shouldn't have taken him that long to realize that these were the changes I should have been making far more regularly. But he did. And I'm happy he realized his errors, even though it was belated. So, yeah, I do give him credit. I'm still a little suspicious of Gareth Southgate, because once it is a final, I know and there's no shame in protecting your side. Self-preservation is not cowardice, a wise man said. But I feel that there are times where you need to look at the quality you have, believe in that quality, and say, if these guys show up, we are ready to face them. We are ready to get on the ball and also show our quality. Of course, playing against Spain is a completely different thing, because they want more of the ball. So you'd have to react to a lot of the things they will do. But I believe that Southgate, I think, and I've said this a million times, I think 3 years ago, he should have won the Euros. at Wembley. He had the Italians in a bad place. He didn't manage tactically well, and then they lost on penalties. I hope he's learned his mistakes. That 3 years on, he has the opportunity to take on Spain, a team that, when you compare this profile to the Italian profile, they are very different.
Yep.
Very mobile, very brilliant, very fluid. Let's see how he reacts to what they have to do. But on the upside, like I said, I will give him credit, because realizing the changes late is still realizing the fact that he had to make the change. And when you watch them play
that's the point I was
against the Dutch,
yeah.
to be fair, I did not think England had it in them to play against the Dutch the way they played. Of course, there were times when Holland had the ball in that second half. First half, England looked good. But I'm pleased with the fact that Southgate got his team to stay in the game, and then quickly made his changes. Eventually, those changes got him to the very end, and they crossed the line. So, for Southgate, I guess, like I'm saying, it's my own suspicions of him as a manager. I hope he's learned his mistakes, and I hope that on Sunday he'll show a bit more belief. I don't think he'll play high risky football. He will never do it. Not after all the things he has seen.
Yeah.
He will keep his team very contained. But, you know, I guess the other thing that worries England sometimes is the pressure of sometimes playing at home. We may downplay it. And sometimes I go back to that final and I put myself in the position of the players and say, if I were playing at the Accra Sports Stadium or in Babayara, AFCON final, the whole continent, I guess the pressure will get to you, and you might make decisions you ordinarily would not make.
Yeah.
So maybe playing away from England is a blessing for them. Maybe because they aren't that high number of fans, they can play under pressure. But Southgate himself admits that Spain is a completely different animal, and they will have to be very ready for the tough game that Spain will give England on Sunday. So Southgate, yes, he will get his flowers.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens to his legacy if, for example, he doesn't win a major trophy.
Back-to-back losses in the final.
If he loses another Euro final, how
that would change the narrative.
will it
quickly.
hurt as much as 3 years ago? I don't know. I can't tell.
And you know, it's interesting that you make that point, because, like we are saying, outside of Alf Ramsey, outside of 1966,
He's come the closest.
they've not done back-to-back finals in a major tournament before. But if you lose another final, you could go from incoming hero to villain very, very quickly.
Well, I don't know about villain.
Or choker.
Probably. I don't think Southgate will be seen as a villain in England's football story.
He's coming to United, isn't he?
No.
How not so?
Ten Hag is staying. So
No. I mean, after Ten Hag, Southgate is still an Englishman. He's not going anywhere. All right, that's a conversation for another day. We'll have. Coach, talk to me about Orania. This looks like their story. Like, good, but never really good enough to go to the final or to ever win the competition. If you were Ronald Koeman, what would you have done differently in that semi?
Look, I think the Dutch could have done better in terms of their belief in what they were capable of doing. In that game against England, the English started the game very brave and very aggressive. The Dutch came into the game to contain them. Shocking, you see England play against Holland, and the English rather are the team dominating the possession of the ball. It's a complete contradiction.
Johan Cruyff will be turning in.
I'm telling you honestly. And if you look at that Dutch team, I was asking myself, maybe that was the game that showed everybody how important Frankie de Jong is to this team. I think if he alone was in the setup, he would have allowed them to take control and then boss the midfield. Kobe Mendu had a free day. Declan Rice had his best game. And almost look at Phil Foden. Absolutely brilliant. Now, when the Dutch figured out a way of dealing with England, they went 4-2-2-2. That typical Ralph Rangnick way of just to make sure that they had more men in the middle of the pack. Then Memphis Depay got hurt.
And then they had to
Then
sub
they
him
had
at
to
half.
make
Then
the
they
change.
sub in at halftime. Then they brought on Vegas. That Vegas change.
It was a bad change.
I think that should have been Zegzi. Because the only thing Vegas offered them
Height.
was height. And even them,
They weren't even going long.
they were not
anyway.
even going long because that is not the way they do their things. You remember? That's not the way they do their things. So if you had another forward who could move a bit, because they needed a forward that could move away from John Stones and get them to be concerned defensively. Not the forward who will go and present himself to John Stones, standing in front of him, give the ball to me, play directed to me, I'm stronger than him, I'm bigger than him. No, the Dutch don't play football like that. Even when they had the great Marco van Basten, who had a very decent height, it wasn't about area ball, it was footworks, ball movement. So that Koeman substitution, yes, it was a forced one due to the injury to Memphis, but I think the player he brought on, Vegas has always been that player they throw in there when they are desperate. At that moment, it was 1-1. So there wasn't any need for that sort of desperate changes. He should have just brought in Zexi, who would have moved a bit more, who would have called for the ball.
Offered more link-up play.
Exactly. And that would have more or less pushed England backward, because in that second half, they looked the better team.
Yeah.
But they needed that forward who would get on the ball, dribble one person, give it to Gakpo, dribble another, so that when they are going as a unit. But Vegas was just looking, giving the ball.
Just big in the box.
No, I think that was where it went so wrong. And again,
and they looked to me like they were playing for extra time too.
No, yeah, you see, but if you are in the dying minute of a semi-finals game, normally what coaches would do is to close the space and stay compact. I didn't understand why at that time of the game, the Dutch and even England themselves were so very wide open.
I think the two teams, the two things. There was a point where it, like you're saying, it stretched out a little.
Yes.
And it went back forward.
And that was
almost like the two teams thought that, you know what, we can go for the kill. But I also got the sense in the final minutes, just before the Watkins goal, that the Dutch were sort of content to take the game to extra time.
No, but even go back and watch their shape. When you are content,
the shape was wide.
That shouldn't be your shape.
Fair.
We should have every player behind the ball and very compact, so that you tell them that, look, we are taking this
Because
to
that
extra.
pass,
Think about that.
that pass just took out like 3 players.
It was just the clear route to go.
Regular diagonal pass.
So once now Van Dijk and then is it Dumfries? No, De Vrij. They had worked for close to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Naturally, only Watkins is introduced in the game, and he's a very dynamic.
He came 78th minute or something, so he was very fresh,
and very dynamic, moving off the ball, excellent.
Talk to me about that. I when you just finished that point, I want you to just talk to me about the dynamics of scoring that goal. But just finish on this.
You see, so once he got introduced into the game, he gave Van Dijk and his defensive partner something different to think about. Harry Kane wasn't moving, so they could look at Harry Kane and then quickly plug him out. Look at Dumfries. His movement took Van Dijk out of the game and drew De Vrij onto himself. But look at the touch. Now, technically, I blame the goalkeeper for conceding that goal, because the first touch of Watkins took the ball away from goal a bit.
So I thought the angle was
Watkins' only way of putting the ball in the net was to go across the goalkeeper.
And that's what he did.
And normally, when you are going across the goalkeeper, once he went wide, the goalkeeper should have shifted him and not use his hand.
Absolutely.
The good goalkeepers, the Spanish goalkeeper, even the Portuguese goalkeeper, he should have used his leg. It was about using his leg to block the ball, because the ball was a carpet-turf ground shot. By the time he came down, the ball has gone past him. But Watkins himself knew where he was, knew where the goalpost was, and knew that this thing, if I go across
it was so good. He didn't even look at them. He didn't even look at
there wasn't the need to look.
First
step, and then you could see his hand more or less blocking the defender not to get even closer. So that the defender doesn't block the ball.
The explanation of the goal reminds me
of
was
so good.
What the Athletics Kalanka said. He interviewed Kobe Menu and asked Kobe Menu about the Liverpool goal.
Yes.
The goal 2-1 against Liverpool, and the one Salah scored later. He said when he asked Kobe Menu, he says, Kobe, how did you score that goal against Liverpool? He said it's very simple. Once Wan-Bissaka gave me the pass,
that's right,
and I turned, he said I knew where I was.
That's right.
And he says the goal doesn't move.
It does.
So once I turn and curl it at a certain point, it's going in, because the goal is not moving.
Exactly.
You know.
It's instinctive.
And I was talking about Unai Emery and Watkins, and I'm happy we've reached this point, because what Unai Emery did for Oli Watkins was to sit him down and tell him that, Oli, there is no need running into the channels. You stay in the width of the penalty, the goal. That's your working area. Yeah. Stay there. The guys will find you with their pass, and then now you need to figure out how to score. So Watkins had been almost. You realize that this season his scoring improved. Last year
he scored a lot of these.
His movement is always within the box.
One touch goal, two touches.
The movement was very restricted. The width of the goal. So Watkins the entire season had been working on position. If I'm here, the goal is here. If I go this angle, and like Kobe, the goal doesn't move. So once you know your angles. You
don't need to look. You don't have a look at it. You hit it. It's on target. You force the goalkeeper to make a save. Failure to do so is in the back of the net. And that was a brilliant goal. Look, it really was. It was indeed a brilliant goal, a perfect goal. Now it's time for me to talk about my people.
I'll give you.
I'll get into the other semi-final.
I'll get into some messages and then I'll come back to Spain in a bit. So, Rich Tabanaman says, Oli Napo, Oli Munfa Mokwame Nkrumah. Sports Panorama is live in Toronto.
Ontario, man.
Lambert Ndodo says, good evening, Chairman Ben and team. After the round of 16, I asked AI which country will win the Euros, and it said Spain or England. I laughed because of the mention of England, but it looks like it's possible. Anyway, once Virgil van Dijk is not winning it, I don't care who wins it, but I will be happy for England. They have suffered. Ike from Amasaman says, good evening, guys. I think Man United have done well to bring Sancho to the first team, but I think
he was on his knees.
In fact, I'll be getting into some don't.
There was a meeting, he was on his knees, begging. That's all. Be on penal. You are on number. You trouble. Coach Agbakada.
He said, I think Agbakada is such a strong expression. Oh my God.
You are not a gun man. You don't understand.
You have to solve the amazing good situation regardless of what happened in the past. He still has a lot to prove and deliver to this team. We'll get into some don't call me because Coach Nimley's Manchester United
doesn't support
Jai Nana. Mesh me the best send unless he declares support. Unless
the other day I told you the calls I've received from powerful men of God.
Tell you
if you
still want to remain stubborn,
then I may lose some blessings. So I'm actually reconsidering.
The Lord has spoken to the guy.
Look, if you have,
you can't go to battle with the Lord.
You see, if you have powerful men of God,
thank you,
like Reverend Yorsin, the Bundesliga man.
Oh, Reverend Eastwood Anaba. Good evening to him wherever he is.
And you have stout Man U supporters calling you and say, look, you can't do that. If you know,
I like the fact you have understood.
I showed you my message. I showed you the messages I've been receiving from there. Look, he said, what? Where are you going? Do you know what? If you leave and do know, I said, look,
I'm telling you
these are powerful men of God. So I'm still considering some few things.
You can't go to battle with the Lord, my brother.
No, not at all.
You can't go to battle with the Lord. So go and wear your sackcloth. Go and purify yourself at the top of the mountain and come back next season a renewed man. Anyway, more messages. Esley from Ebri says, even my primary school inter-precinct soccer competition is more competitive than the Ghana Premier League. Football is indeed coming home. Shout outs to Oli Kwame Nkrumah. Kenny in New Jersey says that, Charlie, guys, breaking news is that Sancho has held talks with Eric Ten Hag and resolved their issues, and he's staying. He's even started training
on his knees
with the first team. We'll get to that. This one here says, please, Sir Southgate, eating humble pie with Twisco. Why? It's Twisco time.
Oh, Charlie, it's Twisco time.
Charlie, interesting stuff. Clinton from Dansoman says, it literally took social media and traditional media to coach Southgate into doing the right things, which eventually qualified England to that. That's literally what Nathan is saying. I kind of agree to that, Duba. I also kind of disagree because I feel like, you see, when you're a coach, it's easy for everybody to say a lot of things, but I think that if Southgate had played the way a lot of people wanted him to play, they would have gotten knocked out.
In the case of Southgate, he was. You could clearly see he was
experimenting.
Yes. Which is not what you do at the tournament.
Ben, you see, Southgate, I did not expect him to even play gung-ho football. But you see, deploy the right players. Even if you want to do this cautious style, when you have the right players, they will always find a way of getting you through.
Man is afraid of getting knocked out.
If you have the specialist, you don't experiment when there's a specialist. Then you're asking somebody who's not a specialist to do a specialist.
Did you see Trent in the first game?
Kobe Menu walks in there.
Easy to bypass.
Menu walks in there. And this is so simple.
It's fine.
He says, I hope England win for me to start my Kobe Menu for Golden Boy charge. It's very possible. Kobe Menu is brilliant. The good thing is that Kobe Menu should continue like this so that he can end up at Real Madrid. I won't say more. You know how it will end.
The only United true academy son who left for Real Madrid was due to indiscipline. And that was David Beckham. They all had offers from Real Madrid, but they turned it down.
Fair deal. About Spain and how they made it to the final. Yeah, Charlie. Oh boy. No, is it
proper team?
You know what's been brilliant about the Spaniards? Like, if you were watching football as a neutral, not having any allegiances, and you just you run into the game, you'd be like, wait, who are those?
Like, this kid is just turning 17.
Yeah.
You know, Ben, they say I like international football for one thing. Right? International football reminds you of players you overlook. And now you take, for example, I walk away from the Euros admiring a player like
Dani Olmo.
Fantastic player. Chris, Dani Olmo's movement.
Fabian Ruiz.
Dani Olmo's movement in that France game, Ben, it was like very early. I saw it, Ben, that he pops up in places you don't expect to find him.
And I love this point you're making.
And those places keep France guessing because he's appearing behind Rabiot. So Rabiot is concerned, do I go with
Little
him?
Pockets.
Or I stay with the person on the ball.
That kind of movement can literally wreck your game plan.
It
can wreck your defensive
It was just a joy. Yeah, it was just a joy watching Dani Olmo cause all kinds of problems. Not doing the most difficult things, but subtle, intelligent runs. Like he's here.
Run and then links up the play. Then he moves back up again. Pops up here. One touch pass. Pops up here. One touch. And I like Lamine Yamal for one reason as well. You know, I always say that he gets a lot of hype, and that goal obviously was as audacious as it gets. But for a 16-year-old, his decision making is off the charts. Like, I've not seen a 16-year-old who understands not to overdo things, who understands when to give a simple pass. He just understands football at a level I think is very scary for a 16-year-old.
He's doing his homework.
I'm a Real Madrid guy, so it's scary for me just watching this.
Chris, I don't want to ask you this.
I just hope this is the ceiling.
Chris, you're the coach here. When you watch Lamine Yamal, how much of it is coaching? Of course, you can tell he's been nurtured. Yeah. But how much of it is just very natural? Because he seems to play the game with this almost natural understanding of the natural, what to do.
The natural understanding has to do with where he's learned his football from. He's coming from the La Masia. Yeah. So things in that academy are done properly. And the young man himself is a smart boy. Now, the issue of coaching was clearly seen in that French game. I had made the comment elsewhere when a radio station called me for me to analyze. I said, look, the key to Spain winning that game is Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. But the two of them will have to play differently, or one will have to play different from the other. This is what I meant. Nico Williams, very pacey than Lamine Yamal. So I said that for Spain to win that game, he needed to give them the width. Now, if you look at Lamine Yamal against the French left back,
Hernandez,
it's a very solid left back. Physically, he was better than the young boy. Technically, I think 1v1 situation, Yamal will struggle against him, because I've never seen a winger take on Hernandez and actually deal with him before. And if you are being coached by Didier Deschamps, one of the direct instruction to Hernandez will be that anytime you get the opportunity to be physical on him, don't spare him.
And they did it in, I think it was in one of the games where Yamal had to be taken out after 65 minutes.
I would have given that. I would have been given that instruction. Yeah. I would have given that instruction. Look, if you get the chance to hit him, don't spare him. Hit him good.
Hold your thoughts there. Let's just take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get more into the Spain-France game and then look at the final, swim events, talk some Donkomi as well. There's about 29 minutes. We'll squeeze everything into that time space. So stay with us here on Sports Panorama. We'll be right back.
Guess what? Now you can win cash every day. Cash just the flow, sir. Winabig is your cash companion, your bestie, always ready to sprinkle a little extra joy into your life. Head to winabig.com, winabig.com, or dial *920*66#. Grab your ticket for just 5 Ghana cedis, and voila! You could just be winning you some cash. 1 ticket, 2 chances. Download the Winabig app on both Android and iOS smartphones. Follow us on our social media pages for more. Winabig, cash the flow. Winabig is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Welcome back. Benjamin Nketiah here, Sports Panorama. Show proudly brought to us by Twisco and Winabig. I'll be getting into the Winabig winners in a bit. We are currently discussing the Euros, the semi-final. France getting wiped by Spain. France scored first and thought that they were on their way to victory, having scored via Colomwani, and then in just about 4-5 minutes, the Spanish pegged them back and got the lead. Coach, you were explaining a point before we went on the break.
On the Lamine Yamal issue, it was clear that he needed to play differently because of his direct opposition. So if you watch that game taken, the only time Hernandez could get closer to him was when he stayed on the touchline in receiving the ball. So you could clearly see that the coaching was that most often take your runs infield. Now, Spain was not playing with their natural right fullback. They had the evergreen Jesus Navas. So evergreen Jesus Navas.
Jesus, the bowler jersey
Navas. So it was a concern for Hernandez. Whether, because the way the French plays, Mbappe will never track the run of Jesus Navas to come and defend. He will always let him go in case there's a counter. He's the outlet, and France is also on the other way. So Lamine Yamal then moves away from Hernandez. Now, I've always said that when these technical players have the opportunity to navigate beyond 180 in the middle of the park, you can do a 360 turn on the ball. And if the player is that good technically, he always has the advantage. That is why if you are a fullback and the winger can only navigate 180 and he's turning you inside out, if I'm the coach, you come and sit down quick.
Like, give us an example.
You mean quick?
You come. You see, when we played that international friendly, the Blaster, was it Neymar or Vinicius Junior? He was cooking left, right, center. Left, come and sit down quick.
Like the Angolan winger against Patrick Shin.
Man, no touching no one time no more. Because the bomo get okon and the ball and ball by throw. Why any job rough off naka? You understand? So the moment the young man went in,
to be fair,
infield.
A fullback's position is one of the most difficult positions, especially if you run into a winger who is quick and skillful. You are in for a nightmare.
I always say that the most ruthless display I've ever seen in my life was when Bayern Munich went to Stamford Bridge and they unleashed, insolent young men, Alfonso Davies and Serge Gnabry, disrespectful young men, and they had unleashed them on the stars because
you understand? So now when the ball went infield, there was N'Golo Kante, there was Rabiot, and there was Tchouameni. But look, there was so much concern about the intelligent runs of Dani Olmo and the overly impressive ball controlling skills and decision making of the boy from PSG, Ruiz. Look, he's been the best player by far in the entire tournament. So anytime Lamine Yamal came, go and watch the goal. When he came infield, Rabiot, who saw the need to go, was now concerned about Olmo. So Olmo shows up, and Rabiot looks at Olmo, and that was getting the young man to bring the ball onto his left foot. Look at the delivery. Look at the strike. He saw the arc. He knew the goalpost was within his zone, and then he just bent the ball straight into the net. The icing on the cake was the second goal. Nathan, did you see the control of Omo.
Yeah, the ball was in the air, man.
And it wasn't a pass; it was a deflected shot, and the ball was going. And the manner in which he controlled the ball with his left foot,
right, it was right
foot,
right to bring it
draw
down,
the ball
and then
back.
left
right. No, it was right.
It was right
to bring it, right to turn, right to
shoot, and that took Tchouameni, Saliba, Koundé, all of them out of the way. And the ball, but the beauty of the Spanish team was the way they managed that second half. In that second half, look, there were several opportunities where the counter attack was there for the taking. Did they choose it? No. Then they had to make sure that the game would not be played at a certain tempo
that France wanted.
So it was about taking this. That's why I saw the importance of Rodri and Fabian Ruiz. They controlled the game. Look, Ngetia, I cannot mention Spain without talking about Kukurudu.
Oh. You mean
Kukurea?
the bushy head?
Oh my goodness.
He's had a super ton.
He should leave the hair. I said during the video he should go and baba his head so that nobody pulls his hair again. He should leave the hair.
What has the hair got to do with
Padie
anything?
Trabole. Kukurea. No Kukurudu at all.
And he's keeping Alex Grimaldo out
On
of the
the
team.
bench.
And Alex Grimaldo is a great player.
Justifiably so. He's been the best left back by far.
Oh yeah.
Can this England team handle Spain? Like you said, for the sake of time, let me squeeze it. Look, for the first time in the tournament, the English are coming up against a proper opposition. In fact, by far, the best team of the tournament. I listened to Southgate, and he said, first, we need to try and get the ball off them. Second, we need to bypass their excellent pressing abilities. So there are two things that normally will go to decide the outcome of football games. And that is what the English team will have to do. Do they have what it takes to bypass the press of this Spanish team? If you ask me, I say no. All the teams they have played against, whenever Declan Rice and co pick up the ball, they back off. They retreat. Spain is not going to retreat against England. They will come, pass the ball through us if you think you are capable of doing that. And in doing so, if the English are unable to pass that test for the 90th minute, once Spain win the ball off them, they will be wide open and they will cook them good. Look, I have said, I didn't tip England to get to the final. I said Spain will win the tournament. Because I watched their last game before the tournament, and I told myself, these people, if they don't win this tournament, it wouldn't be because a team would be better than or was better than them. It would be as a result of they not being able to utilize all their goal scoring chances. All the English support, including my brother Jude, who came here, does he sincerely believe that this English team can stop Spain? No, you could see the shivering in his voice when he was talking. He was shivering. He couldn't. Does he sincerely believe? And to all the English support, do you people believe sincerely that
you can win this game?
This Spanish team will not create like 6 decent chances? Look, if they create less than 6 decent chances, England wins it. They will create a minimum of 6 clear
opportunities.
And more about srub.
Look, monitoring
it can only go one way.
There's a bit of fear in England. Yeah. And I'm monitoring the tabloids today. The argument now has shifted to whether Southgate is an average coach or not. And is he an average coach? Yes, he is. Yes, he's taking them to back-to-back finals. I mean, yes, he's gone to quarterfinals.
Slovenia, Slovakia, what with Germany? What with France?
You get it?
We've beaten the Germans, the host nation. We've beaten the French. So we put the icing on the cake.
Let me read a few messages.
The last time the Spain was in the major final like this, where are the Italians? What happened to them?
So Pastor Mauli is sending me a message. You know, Pastor Mauli Chika.
My boss that.
He says, I'm a bit concerned about the heavy workload being placed on Yamal and Menu at both club and national team levels, given their young age.
That is true.
I worry that the high stakes games and frequent playtime might be too much for them to handle, reminiscent of Ansu Fati at Barca. I hope their well-being and development is being carefully considered to avoid potential burnout or long-term consequence.
That is very correct.
I think the same thing happened to Gavi too.
We saw Lionel Messi when he was young. He was equally playing back and forth. So it's about they being properly managed at club level. And for a player like Kobe Mainoo like this, if you look at what Man United are trying to do, if they can get Ugarte, they can bring in another midfielder. He's not expected to play every game.
Judanka says, I should tell you, that they said these things you are saying, people said it against the Swiss, they said it against the Dutch.
Me, I'm talking about Spain.
So you should watch ice cold Palmer do his thing.
Oh, mini Palmer.
Let me just take predictions on who wins. Coach says Spain win.
Spain win.
Spain. Yeah, Spain too. Spain for me.
Yeah, it would hurt me to say this, but Spain. I know I support England, but I've always said that.
Fair point.
If England wins, I'll be delighted, but at least Spain.
Fair point.
The kind of football Spain is playing.
I'm telling you. You know the thing about the Spanish, right? When the Spanish are in this type of form, they don't lose to anybody.
You know, I wonder.
Nobody stops them when they are in this kind of form.
I ask myself, what will the Spanish team look like in 2 years in the next World Cup? The only slight concern I have is who will lead the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have to
That's always been the problem after Fernando Torres
because
and
they've
David
not had
Villa.
a clinical finisher. But you see, I think what Morata gives them is, of course, Torres and Villa still had movement.
Yes.
And I think Morata gives them that.
They were more clinical.
Yes, they were more clinical. He doesn't have the goals. The movement he gives them to cause problems, to run off the ball and that kind of stuff. When you look at the profile of this, I think they are still young enough, and in 2 years they will be better than this.
They will only need to change the right back. And then they need to bring one or two centre backs.
That's the thing
in
about
there.
Spain. When Spain hits these kind of levels, they're going to be like this for like the next 8 years.
Yes.
You guys are in trouble. Well, let me just do some quick stuff on Winner Big, who are proud sponsors on the show, and then we'll do some Don't Call Me as well. So winners for this week.
Hey,
Bless K.
hey,
K for kerosene.
fire.
500 cedis is soon.
Hey, Beshi.
Philip B. B for
Billing.
500 cedis. Aisha K.
Hey.
K for Commander. 500 Ghana. Samuel K. Charlie, it be like something did a K inside. They for show we the way.
It's a kitten.
Samuel K. 500 Ghana. Hayford O. 500
Or
Ghana.
or something.
Cool down.
Right, you get some
Elizabeth E. E for E-Levy. 1,000 Ghana.
Hey.
So the person who won the 1,000 Ghana woman, Elizabeth.
Hey, Beshi.
Jiska. So that's those are your winners from Winner Big for this week. So keep going out there. I'll announce the short code again and the website just before we take the show home.
It's Don't Call Me time. One place, May. One penny cheap. Don't call you, don't call me. We dey loan this player $1,000. Don't call you, don't call me. For the striker we can consider. Don't call you, don't call me. No, they see you use Tinaboga. Don't call you. So those are Sansa Torres. Now one can shape was a piece of goals. Now on one yard against a Perez. And then we coach one come at home. A don that was so. Don't call me, yo, don't call me. Let's go. It's Don't Call Me time. Don't call me, yo, don't call me. It's Don't Call Me time. Don't call me, yo, don't call me. Catch that. Tinaboga. Don't call me, yo, don't call me. Catch that. It's Don't Call Me time.
Medase. So that's the place we are at right now, and let's start off from my favorite Don't Call Me destination of all time. Old Trafford and Manchester United. Always coughs up a lot of controversy, always brings up a lot of talking points, and Coach Nimley is on record to have famously coined the term Wakeleg Binomo just in relation to Manchester United and their transfer issues. Unfortunately, not a lot of the Wokeleg Binomus have ended up too well. Some have gone well, some have gone left, some have gone down south. Joshua
delete Agalegu Nomo. Ugati Agalegu Nomo. Zet Agalegu Nomo. No go more. No go more.
This is what I like about Don't Go. You see, I started again.
No, come on.
No, repeat again.
Delete Agalegu Nomo.
Thank you.
Ugati Agalegu
Nomo. Wait.
Agalegu Nomo. Me no go more. The player has told his agent Bamini, PSG came. I don't want to talk to anybody about Manchester United. As we speak now, it's about just the structure of the payment to Bamini.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Nimley is back. No, Coach is back officially.
Zetsky, Zegzi. No, everything about the young man is Zegzi.
So Joshua Zegzi.
No,
Zegzi.
I'll
have to. I want to
signed a 5-year deal plus option.
Hold on.
So Joshua Zegzi has signed a 5-year deal plus option as new Manchester United player.
No, I can almost 2030.
And they say it's 2029. So the deal is a little over 40 million euros.
We'll pay in installment.
Yeah. So United.
Let's talk about that.
United had the option of buying him for what? I think the buyout was what, 34 million.
Yeah, roughly almost 34 million.
But United said, no way. So they agreed to a slightly higher fee, but they will spread the payment over 3 years. So all of this, of course, the context is that United now under Ineos, they are looking at the finances. They want to make sure they are not overspending because it will get them in PSR trouble. The PSR rules there, you can't run away from it. You can't dodge. So United are trying to make sure that they are working the market to see what they can get to keep things within budget. Now, the fans who were hoping for wholesale changes, it will be done gradually, Ineos has said, and it will take them time to bring in players, move players on, and gradually try and restructure the team. So that's what United are doing. They are hoping that this approach will work. It will get them players not on crazy transfer monies, and then they can gradually, rebuild.
Is that similar to what Todd Boehly is doing at Chelsea?
But Todd Boehly is a hard guy.
Coach, talk to me about how he fits into the current profile of United's project.
I think if you look at what Eric Ten Hag is trying to build, he's trying to build a team that will not lack any form of creativity. At least through the middle of the pack. If you look at Man United, until Kobe Mainoo came in, every form of creativity relied virtually on Bruno Fernandes through the middle. But in Zegzi, in Zegzi,
now, coach is really back.
No, mention that name again.
In Zegzi, what he does, he's a ball playing forward player. He's not a renowned goal scorer. I think in the Italian he scored 11 goals. But what he does, I think he scored 11 and gave about 7 or 8 assists. What he does, he wants to get on the ball and be part of the build-up. So he needs to link up play ball. If you look at his statistics, he dribbles past opponents better than Harry Kane, better than Erling Haaland, better than Oli Watkins. The statistics are there. He's a ball-playing strike. And that is what Eric Ten Hag is hoping for. This time, it's not Ten Hag alone doing the purchasing.
What we also have to say is that Ruud van Nistelrooy has also joined.
Yes, so there's a complete change in the technical setup of the team. So in Zegzi, United has gotten the player that will add a bit more creativity, a bit more, and he's got genuine pace. He brings that physical presence as a number 9. But this is not a number 9 who will always be hoping for you to hit the ball long to him. Pass the ball to him on the turf. He picks it, he turns. Once there are players running off him, then he's allowed to go and do his thing. I think he's going to be a good addition. He may not hit the ground running, boom. He may need some time to set. That is why I'm happy the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy, Eric Ten Hag himself. These are the Dutch connections. Very soon, most likely by the end of tomorrow, Delete will finish the Dutch connections. You have been following the story.
I have been following.
Bayern Munich themselves have agreed. The players have agreed. See, players like delete when they say I'm going here. You don't stop them.
I hear.
That's a move that actually shocked me.
Munich fans, there are about 60,000 of them writing a petition to tell Bayern Munich not to let
the boy has told them that, in fact, he wants to go on his holidays. But he's given Man United them, look, finish this. I want to come back.
I'm curious as to how that relationship didn't really go well.
No, it's about if you allow Thomas Tuchel to misbehave and go and bring Eric Dyer, Zuko Dyer, playing ahead of Matthijs de Ligt. It's actually cost the boy his place in the Dutch national team. So and the hierarchy of Bayern Munich sat there and allowed that to happen.
Let's wrap up. Don't come in. Nathan, talk to me quickly about Mason Greenwood to Olympic Marseille.
Yeah.
The bid being looking like the teams are going to agree, and then some political elements coming in. Just quickly on that.
Yeah, so yes, the story is that United and Marseille don't have a problem finding an agreement. Look, they have found an agreement.
A little over 30 million euros.
30 million euros.
And then there is a percentage
and all of those things. But the Marseille mayor says no way. He doesn't want the club to sign Mason Greenwood. He's very afraid of the backlash. Very concerned that the French public will give them grief.
People have said that Marseille, I don't know how true it is, but it's a city that is not too strange to players not having the most prime morals.
Yeah, look, Marseille's a very crazy place, and Marseille fans can, and ask Patrice Evra, Marseille fans can be very, very complex to deal with. Kick. You know, if you ask what's the name of the Czech striker, Patrick Schick, when he went on loan at Marseille, his very first day at training, Marseille fans showed up, were beating everybody, then he had to run into the club. So I don't know what Marseille fans have said. It's the mayor who has complained. It looks like Marseille want to get the deal going. Remember, they do have Roberto Di Zerbi.
He's the one pushing for the deal.
He's the one pushing for the deal. So we wait to see. I'm sure the club, once the club has not said anything now, it looks like they want to get the deal done.
Yeah.
It's the afters I'm waiting for, the politics of it and all. But I think ultimately, Man United have realized that trying to keep Mason Greenwood would not necessarily. Look, I don't think it will harm him in the sense that he can't play his football. It's the noise and things around the club that
he himself, he's moved on.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, he went in there, so get me out of here. I want to get out.
And he said, let's come to a good agreement. We all decide to end this. United gets a little money from that. He moves on. And I think that's it. I think Mason Greenwood wants to play his football. As a footballer, he has the right.
And then if he gets 2 years at Marseille, very good.
Yes, if he gets
back in Spain with other Barcelona.
If he plays 2 good seasons at Marseille,
people will forget about it.
Teams are queuing up. PSG may queue up. The Spanish teams will
a lot of big teams would have wanted him, but for the baggage. Let's talk about what's happening tomorrow and Sunday. Yeah, boy. From as early as 7 a.m., we're going all the way to like 5 p.m. It's a swimming thing. It's a swimming
The
team
Gapster.
At Boteman. Boteman Sports Stadium. Thank you very much. The aquatic center in the bell.
For ring the bell. Now, behave
yourself, my brother. You don't understand these basic things. Better behave yourself over there. Let me tell you what's going down tomorrow. Coach, you're going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say that the swimming.
Yeah.
You see, the last time there was a competition, in-house competition.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah, I know they actually, because I saw some of our ladies here.
Let me get to the actual cracks of the swim event. Don't mind, coach.
Not side issues.
Don't mind, coach. I haven't even finished promoting the event.
We are promoting the event. There will be curtain raisers. Proper curtain raisers.
No,
from in. Hello, Africa.
No, this
Okay,
young man. Nathan, Charlie, I heard you giving so we have 194 swimmers coming in.
As of
Well, that's good.
Yep, we have 12 swimming clubs. So we have the GH Dolphins.
No, over 200 actually swimmers.
So a couple of them have actually added up.
So let's say about 200.
So GH Dolphins, Marlin Swim Club, Legon Sharks, GH Aquatic Masters.
Wow.
Torpedo Swim Club, Monarch Swim Club, Turtle Swim Club, the African Sharks Dolphin Swimming Club, Dolphin Swim Center. So Dolphin Swimming Club are in Kumasi, and Dolphin Swim Center are in Takoradi. So note the difference. We have Blue Fins Swim Club from Tema, and then the Tema Seals also coming through from Tema. So
Cape Coast.
very, very necessary, my brother. So that's what's going down
from Cape Coast.
Yeah, there's a Cape Coast team.
Turtle Swimming Club
from Cape Coast. So
Turtle Swimming Club.
But Gabi, I mean, you've spoken to some coaches.
You've been interacting with the coaches. What's going down?
It's been revealing this week. I say that because one thing I noted from the swimmers is confidence. Confidence. It ran true.
Yep.
It was all true. The swimmers I interacted with. So I started
Even
with
the
Marlins.
ones who are as young as 8 years old.
I started with the Marlins. Remember that the Marlins are the defending champions. They finished at the maiden edition.
And they train at
Last year they won
Tesano.
63 medals.
63 medals.
They train at Tesano
Sports Club. And look, Ben, do you know what it means to wake up your kids at 5 a.m. and take them to a swimming training hub to get them ready? That's discipline, dedication, time. And that is what I saw from just that short time with the Marlins. And
this is something they do like 3-4 times in the week.
So when I interacted with their CEO, so I was just trying to get like the time to get to the swimmers. And he was like, oh, you can come there 6 a.m. I was like, bro, did you say 6 p.m.? Or are you saying like 6 a.m. to 6 a.m.? Well, 6 a.m.
Yeah, 6 a.m. If you
and
want to
after
catch
that, they change and get to school. And you see,
the kind of discipline you need to have.
I'm just trying to say that, look, they've actually got a league system they run here. Like in our football, where we have their league.
They have the swim league.
Yes, a lot of people don't know this, but everybody I've spoken to in that fraternity, one way or the other, is saying that, look, the sport is really growing. They're getting the attention. They're getting the push they want, and as part of promoting other sports here, this is huge for us. So I think confidence is something that is key, that is running through the swimmers. And look, I'm just hoping. I just can't wait for tomorrow.
I don't think that
I just can't wait for tomorrow.
The government itself should take swimming up, because if cities, forgive me,
City Channel 1 TV,
City Channel 1 TV is doing it. We need a standard pool where that's open for the kids to develop the next Stacys and Abeku Jacksons and the Minsons and co, because these kids are waking up early and giving their time to this sport. We need to invest in them to produce world champions.
And you see, I like this point,
and
because
the names are already there. Look, the names are already there. If you have somebody like Samens William Debra, okay, Michael Arthur Crabman,
that's my guy.
Michelle Lai.
Naima Kankam, where is she?
Naima Kankam is there.
Last year Naima Kankam was one of the stars.
Her neck must have been hurting from all the medals. And she was like picking up medals.
Jonathan Boama, and apparently Jonathan Boama, who represents the Marlins, and Samens Williams Debra, who is with the Legon Sharks. They have this ongoing rivalry.
There's somebody at the Legon Sharks. They have. Is that Jonathan?
Yes, that's Jonathan Boama.
Jonathan
so
is great.
they're actually two. So Eli Hellegbe is with the Legon Sharks together with Samens. And these two say that they're coming for Jonathan Boama, who is with the Marlins. And that's so sweet. Look, but you listen
it's
to
competitive.
kids. You listen to kids saying that, look, I am coming for you. I know you are good in 50-meter freestyle, but I am good in what?
The Marlins say backstroke. They say backstroke is their institution. So if it comes to backstroke, you might as well just forfeit the medal because you are not winning. So let me just tell you, all those who live in and around Baltimore, in fact, if anywhere in Accra, just make your way to the Baltimore Sports Complex and drive through there.
It's going to be going to be. Look,
it's free.
It's free.
Coach will be there with his daughters.
Of course.
Absolutely free.
You bring your princesses.
I bring all my 3 beautiful girls. You come and have a look and then see things for yourself.
It's amazing.
Experience beautiful atmosphere, and the atmosphere will be what? Electrifying.
Wow, absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow.
But Ben, before we leave here, I think this year we should look out for GH Dolphins.
Wow, they are the
that Coach Jackson's team.
Good. Because
Coach Jackson's father's team.
Yes. Because they finished as the champions of the Meet of Champions. So the Meet of Champions,
the last swim league.
Yes.
Event
so champions of champions. And I mean, the Marlins themselves are saying, look, we are scared of these people.
They've produced a champion.
They're scared of these people. And for those who don't know, not Abeku Jackson, Harry Stacey, who is representing Ghana.
They produced a champion.
It's coming from the Marlins.
They produced a champion. Absolutely.
So this is really
huge. So and I like the fact that you're raising. I just want to say one thing. Big shout out to Channel 1 TV for making this happen in collaboration with Citi FM. Big shout outs to the Swim Association, so organized. I say that, look, I'm saying this because they give me hope for the aquatic center at Baltimore. Because they will engage it literally all year round.
And make sure
they have a proper league in place.
Yes.
The other federations, look, there's
Delphina Quay should be in Paris, but because of this,
she's here. Thank you very much. The other federations, there's the dome, there's the multi-purpose dome at Baltimore, the one that can do badminton, can do tennis, can do basketball.
Handball.
I think the other federations should also They should also start putting in the work to start hosting something that can be sustained.
Office a kiosk and I can be any car time.
Oh. Get there, use the facilities, get a badminton league going. Let's get some kind of basketball league going. Let's get some kind of volleyball league going. Let's use the facilities.
Sports Association.
Thank you very much. Let's use the facilities to the point where maintenance will not become
a problem at all.
We beg you. So that's it. Just come through with your family. It's absolutely free. It's the Baltimore Sports Stadium, the aquatic center to be specific. Is the Channel 1 Swimming Championship in collaboration with the Ghana Swimming Association. Like I said, Saturday, Sunday, we are there from about 9 a.m. to about 5 p.m. So just come through, come have fun, come enjoy some good swimming. The entire Citi Sports, Channel 1 sports crew will be there, including Coach
There'll be food, there'll be everything. Everything that we need to spend the day is there.
The coverage will be live on TV.
Live on Channel 1 TV.
Will be live on Channel 1. So
TV, Papa.
Commentary will be cooking. Nathan Kwa will be there.
Channel, Papa. Quality.
Interviews in between, exclusives. Charlie, let's do shout outs before we go. Quick shout out.
So this is from our good friend Sedi.
Okay.
I mean, if I don't do
Sedi Nam Edmond.
Which I
hard guy.
I can't see.
You will find out.
Problem. See the message. Okay, so Sedi says, well, happy birthday to Mr. John Jerry Hayipo. Hayibo. So that's his dad.
Is he okay?
Yeah. So may you continue to be the greatest dad you always are. More success, health, and wealth. From Stella, Dorcas, Conrad, and Sedi, Charlie, and the entire Panorama crew.
Happy birthday!
Shout out to
happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Daddy Sedi.
Ben, listen to this. Shout out to Francisca Omotola.
Hey.
An ardent listener.
Hey, boys!
Of Sports Panorama.
That also from Sedi.
Yeah, from.
You know what fear say? Was supportile. No ni kelile. No ni kelile ba shi akometu was supporter.
This message highlight also.
Very important. Coach.
Yeah, Charlie. Look, I have a very special message from a man I call my brother.
Oh yes.
And the most beautiful thing is that his wife and I are colleagues at Ghana Christian International High School. So he sent this beautiful message to his wife. And he says, my heart and my life have been filled ever since I met you. You fill me with happiness, make me thankful for all things big and small in our lives, and have made me believe in soulmates. Our love will last forever. From your husband, Wabna, from your husband, Wabna, and children Eloise and Nathan. We love you, mommy. This is from Bosso. Ifwa of Ghana Christian International High School. This is from your husband, and she's an ardent listener of Sports Panorama.
Thank you
I know
much.
the house is booming now. We love you.
Who else needs to do a shout out?
Shout outs to all our listeners.
You know which shout out we need to do before we go? Summons. You know what's happening.
Tomorrow Summons.
Oh hell yeah!
Bossu. No more like a manani. Oh, no more in any cheo. Minute boss. Boss inani eche. What is that come nani? Them the enko yo. Boss nikale yo baby.
No, you see.
No inani eche.
If I say I will talk about Samens, I'll probably need another full show.
No pay on one be see what Tessano.
Thank you very much.
And what you film? What you film? No, meaning what coded is a coded language. And to me, Kasa.
The papacy. A happy birthday to a visionary.
Look, I need to pray for him.
Thank you very much.
Joe Azibao. Yo abodi manche. Boko metoji money papa ke here for you know. Yo wa woke he no kele share. E ba taking no. Da fida. Jomole.
Amen.
Hale wale. Hale nili. Hale wala sechele.
Amen.
Abba. Yo wa woke ha samens. Wala sechele. Jomole ke he wale. Yesu Bame. Papa, my job. Happy birthday.
Amen. And that's it from us here. My name is Benjamin Nketiah. I had Coach Christopher Nimley there, Bernard Abekwatri, Gabi Ofe, and Nathan Kwao. Thank you very much for your messages. Big shout outs to our people from YouTube who make time to watch the show. Big shout outs to Edwin Kwa Kofi. Yeah, Jamie Taidem Kind, everybody who makes things happen around here. Tomorrow, Boteman is the place to be. Don't say I didn't do anything good for you.
Don K, the big guy in Cape Coast, says he's always in tune.
Thank you very much, Don K. Twisco's proud sponsors of Panorama. Winner Big, proud sponsors as well. Let's meet at Boteman. Let's enjoy some swimming. It's going to be good, I promise you. Until then, keep that dial right here. Keep listening. DJ Mingo will be coming in with some more goodness.